am on the 4 multi-channel dialogue timeline. Now, the first thing we have to do when we start editing dialogue is make sure that each track is correctly set up for either mono or stereo. This production soundtrack here is dialogue.
Hey, where am I?
And so we want it to be a mono track, and you can tell it's mono by 1.0 here. That means there's one channel of audio. Now here on Add a VO Test, it says 2.0. This means it's a stereo track. Now we can see the left and right channel of this audio, and we can see there's nothing on the right channel. So we can right-click the track header, change track type to mono. Now when we do this, it will automatically choose the left channel or channel 1 in that stereo track. You can also click and then right-click and go to clip attributes. You can change that to mono as well. And you can see if there's any other tracks there. If we set it to stereo, you can see actually there is another track there, but it was muted. So if you don't want to hear certain channels, you can always mute them here. We are going to set it to mono, embedded channel 1. We just want that one channel of dialogue, and I'll hit OK. Now sound effects is a stereo channel, and that's what we want. Now, even though it's mono, there's one channel on this dialogue track here, and the dialogue track here, it is going to play out of both speakers.
Philips CryoPod has lost power.
The only time a mono clip would play out of only one side of your headphones is if you change the track type to stereo, but you have the clip here set to mono, and you can hear it.
You are in orbit of planet Q-465b.
It will only play out of the left speaker. The next thing we have to do is identify the channels associated with each clip. In audio 1, we see the last clip here.
Positive. Do it.
Now, if I click and then right click, I can select Find in Media Pool, and I can see the clip here. And up here in the viewer, I see that there's only one channel. Next, I'm gonna click the second to last clip here, right click, Find in Media Pool, and I'm gonna do the same thing. And look, now I can see there are a ton of channels here, some which have audio waveforms and some that I don't think do. So I'm gonna right click this and do Create New Timeline using selected clip, and I'm just gonna call it Channel Mapping. Create. And even though when I did that I said only give it one audio channel, I'll do that again so you can see it. When I go create new timeline using selected clip, even though it has number of audio tracks 1, you are still going to see all the channels associated with this clip. And I just started this new timeline so that you could see what we're dealing with. And when I hit inspector, I'm just going to crank the volume just so I can make sure there's no really tiny waveforms in any of these clips. Now what I want to do is go to this clip in the media pool, because we want to change the channels associated with this clip in the media pool so that wherever we use it, it won't have extra channels that aren't being used. I'll right click the clip and do clip attributes in the media pool instead of doing it on the timeline. And when I do that, I'm going to change it from 7.1 to adaptive 4, which means I'm only going to use 4 channels of my choice. And the channels that actually have audio on them are 1, 4, 5, and 6. So I'll set that up here. 1, 4, 5, and 6, and hit OK. Now the clip remains this way in the timeline here, but if I were to delete it and bring this in, and now you can see that it just has channels 1, 4, 5, and 6. I just want to show you how you can have control over all these audio channels. If we go back and we right click and we go to clip attributes, we see that we have the adaptive 4 channel. If we also want to split these channels up into individual tracks that we can play with, we can go mono up here for format, and we're going to add 4 mono tracks, and then we can hit add, And for each one of these, I'm gonna assign one of these channels to. So 1, 4, 5, 6, I think was what we did originally, because those were the only ones that had actual waveforms on them. 1, 4, 5, 6 are channels all on one track together, and then we have separate mono tracks with their own channels. Let's hit OK. And now I am going to right click, create new timeline using selected clips, and we'll call this remapped. It's still gonna show us everything. And I did this because I want to have the opportunity to listen to each one of these channels on their own track, soloed. So this first audio track, I can right click the header and do delete track. I don't need it. And now I can listen to these individually and hear the quality of them.
Plot a course to put me next to him. Plot a course to put me next to him.
Okay, audio 2, way better.
Plot a course to put me next to him.
Audio 3 is a little muffled.
Plot a course to put me next to him.
Audio 4 so-so. But now you have individual control over each one of these. Notice when you click them all like this, they are grouped together. If you want to delete unwanted channels and tracks, we can right click the clip in the media pool and go back to clip attributes. We can come over here and just start deleting our tracks, and then we can also delete some of these channels as well. Don't need 6, 5, and 1, and you just want to leave it like that. You can hit OK. And now if you create a new timeline, it'll just show up with that one channel.
Plot a course to put me next to him.